Why does this always happen? Ugh! Hello and welcome to episode 9 of my car review series. Today I'm reviewing the oldest car we have reviewed so far, the Volkswagen Carmengier Coupe Type 1. It is 443 performance points. It only has 164 brake horsepower, but it only weighs 732 kilograms. Which is ridiculously light. It's almost as light as I don't know how light it is actually. I can't really compare it to anything right now. It's almost as light as some of the old Lotuses, the Elan and stuff like that. It has 25 max torque kgfm and 4.46 kilograms of brake horsepower power to weight ratio. It is the first rear-engined rear-wheel drive car we have driven, or I have driven. And let's just check everything is okay. Right. This is just a cruising lobby, so we can't go backwards, I don't think, which is a shame, but oh well. Again, we're limited to a track which isn't London, because the only lobby in London was a race lobby, which I'm not doing. I'm just messing around, I'm not racing. But it sounds amazing, that's for sure. But let's just pop in here whilst we sort out all the camera stuff and everything. Come on, reverse. There we go. So, I can already hear the turbo, sounds amazing. So, there's the rear of the car, looks very nice. And the front of the car, which also looks very nice. A very old horn as well. Unfortunately, there's no lights in this thing because it is not premium. It's just a shame, but that's what we have to deal with. The interior looks very modern for this age. The only thing that doesn't look modern is the wing mirrors, but you know. And this is the bonnet view, which is the one I'll be using. First of all, let's test the burnout when this car's gone past. That's GT I tested that a couple of episodes ago. There's no burnout. I can already hear the turbo powering the car up the hill. Amazing. And considering how much horsepower there isn't in this car, it's still a really fast car to drive. Yeah, the GTO that I was driving was pretty much impossible to drive. Oh, this is a drifting car. Okay. This car is almost perfect for drifting. That's useful. I might have a new drifting car. Can't get past the GTO. Oh wow! Okay, I got hit by an R8 Gordini, or whatever they're called. He hit the wall. Yeah. It seems to be a drift car, but it's just very tricky to drift. I think I'll try and drive it normally for the first few laps so I can get used to the car. GTO is annoying me. As the rear end of this car does want to re-pull out, which is kind of nice. I do like that in a car. Most people don't, but I kind of do. Oh god. Ah! The braking is... I can't fault the braking. The braking is like modern day braking. This car is so much fun. I feel like the previous car I was driving. Oh wow, okay. The front wheel seems to be pulling a bit. I don't know how that's working. Oh no. Okay, yeah. This car is a sort of drift car. I'm driving this view for a while, 6 people into it. It's a very rigid car, I'll give you that. It doesn't flex. I don't know why it's spinning out so much as well. I can't figure that out. Just test the J-turn ability. Very nice. I can't see. I mean, the car is very rigid for these old sort of cars. Which is kind of weird. I kind of expected it to be really flimsy like the Beetle and the camper van, but no, it's not. This car's tricky to drive actually. I kind of underestimated this car. It seems to be very difficult. See what drift we can do here. Yeah, the front wheel seems to be pulling out for some reason, and then if you even tap the handbrake it just does that. The launch is really really good. This car is surprisingly good actually. I wouldn't use it as a track day car because it's just a bit too the front wheel, the back wheels seem to pull out a bit too much, and then there's a problem with this car. I think the rear wheels want it to curve round like I just did there, whereas the front wheels want to keep it straight on the track. So obviously they both kind of, you know, if you drift you immediately get pulled forward like I just did there, and if you go straight you immediately get pulled sideways. So that's basically your two options, is to go straight and then be pulled sideways, or drift and then be pulled forwards. And you know, if you're drifting and putting forwards then you can't drift. So obviously this car isn't designed really for anything. I wouldn't use it for anything, to be honest. It's a pretty bad car. Still fun to drive. But the front wheels just seem to pull quite a lot. I can't figure out why it's happening. Maybe I'd probably, if I was to use it as a drift car, I would put the camber on the front wheels a lot, just to stop it pulling. And probably shorter, well, no, longer gear ratios. No, shorter gear ratios, yeah. Okay, once you get used to how much the front wheels pull you forwards, it kind of it's a bit easier to drift, but it's still tricky. Yeah, there we go. You really have to get used to the car, to be honest. It's not a very easy car to do that with either. Took me a couple of laps. Yeah, see, now I can tell that the fourth and the third gears don't seem to have enough power to pull it forwards. So it's just to put it sideways so it won't drift on those gears. So you have to be changing the gears and clutch it every single time you go around to a drift. Because the top gears don't seem to have any power at all when you're drifting. Someone going around backwards for some reason. I can't figure out why that is. Yeah, third gear doesn't have enough power, and then when you get into second gear the front wheels seem to pull forward, so it's not the easiest drift car in the world. There we go. Yeah, that's more like it. That's what I wanted. Let's use this view, see what I can do on this. Spun out Ferrari there. At least I've got a horn, unlike the Monaro from last episode. Braking is really good, actually. I kind of expect the braking to be really bad because of what the car is, but it seems to be much better than I think it is. See what we can do here. Oh wow, yeah, these front wheels seem to pull a lot. Yeah, these front wheels are kind of annoys me a bit. It's gonna have to be a short episode because I need to render it nice and quickly. So overall, this car is I wouldn't recommend driving it for anything, to be honest, because like I've explained about twice now, it drifts. When you try and drift the car, it doesn't have enough power until you get into the second gear. When you eventually get into the second gear, the front wheels seem to pull too much, so it just doesn't drift. And if you drive it normally, then it just goes into the rear wheels want to push it into a drift. So you're basically always drifting, and it's always pulling forward, so you can't really do anything with the car. So yeah, that has been episode 9 of my car review series. With the Volkswagen Carmen gear. And I will see you in the next video.